This is an old game apparently. Just loading this up. Game's loaded. Gonna be a TVP. Barcode, our blue Terran in the top left hand corner. Against our red pros in the top right corner, Pikachu. And I'm just gonna say right now, I have a vision of how this game's gonna turn out. I get the feeling they're gonna position over this base here, and they're gonna wait and wait and wait and wait, and Protoss is just gonna set up cannons, and Terran's just gonna sit there with ghosts, and they're just gonna wait and get ready to fight for like 20 minutes. That's how I imagine this game's gonna go. So, oh, Veni Pro, you do have a replay. You did post that before, so that's fine. Thank you. I think I actually maybe even sent that over to my Skype, but I didn't realise. Yes, I have. So, thank you. Thank you very much. That one's coming up next. So, Pikachu gonna scout his opponent last. A little bit unfortunate. Nope, he's not. He's gonna go straight to top left after scouting bottom right. Sorry, I'm just being a bit quiet. I'm just trying to figure something out. La-di-da. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. So Pro's gonna get up here. He's gonna see, well, you're gonna have a barracks up front. Cool. Gonna see no gas. Gonna be able pretty much safe to assume gases expand. Terran player coming across the sky. He's gonna scout his opponent straight away. And the Protoss player going to come down here and maybe even going to get to see that the barcode player is going to go for a fast expand. So probe might try and be a little bit annoying. It's not being that annoying though. And but did the SCV just die? Oh, there it is. I wondered where it went. So SCV just checking out what his opponent's up to right now. It looks like Pikachu's just going to go for a very greedy expansion just before Cybernetics core. It's definitely possible, but unless the Terran player engineering bay blocks, okay, doesn't matter. So the Nexus coming down for Pikachu. Probe's gonna get picked off there by that Marine, so it just got in there. Did he see the expansion? Yes, he did. So he got the information he probably wanted. So both of these guys fast expanding in these close by air positions. As you can see, like, just pretty standard from barcode. The only thing I would say is maybe just get that second depot there. He's going to go for the third CC, which is a really interesting choice, I feel, on this position. Like, Entombed, sure, maybe cross positions, yeah. Vertical positions, sure, too. But when close by ground, just like any kind of attacks can just hit you so quickly. So, very brave going for the free CC. However, if you look at his vision, you know, he knows his opponent's expanded. But again, still 2 base times can just hit you that little bit faster, and so little things like that really do matter sometimes. With the difference between how fast you see it and how fast you can react to it. So Zealot is out. Ahsoka's going to join him very shortly. Pikachu's just going to start producing probes at his expansion. The Orbital's just moving in at the expansion of Barco. So for Pikachu, he got that Nexus pretty damn early. It's pretty nice for him. He did have to cut a couple of probes for it, but in the long run it kind of makes up for itself, as long as he doesn't die for not having his units out as fast. So the Stalker just checks the middle of the map. And he's now just going to go up to his opponent's base. Just check there's a bunker there, you know, make sure of all the usual stuff. second Stalker on the way out as well. We're going up to 3 gateways here, and Chrono Boost actually coming on down on that Cyber Next core, so very possible he might just be going for like a 3 gate timing, although the Cyber Next core warp gate timing is a little bit off for that, and yeah, there's a Robo Facility anyway, so yeah, still Chrono Boosting out of that Cyber Next core though, but the Robo Facility coming down pretty much suggests that there's not going to be any pressure here. As Pikachu, he's going to check just to see if the third base is being landed, see exactly how greedy the Terran player wants to play, which quite frankly is not very. And the bunker just going to reflect them Stalkers once again. Warp gates now coming in. Again, there's no proxy power, so not going to be any aggression at all really. So Pikachu just going to be able to throw down his extra gas. Probably Chrono Boosting out Warp Gate because he got his Cyber Next core a bit late. Getting some sentries out now so he can be able to force field, and these Stalkers down at the bottom of the Terran's ramp are just going to do a nice job of seeing anything that does come out from the Terran player. Chrono Boost coming down on an Observer. Pikachu wants to see exactly what's up, and he's going to be able to see, well, shit. I'm behind, because his opponent will have a clear command center, and when you're Protoss, there's nothing really you can do against that if you've already decided to kind of just play a normal game. So second Observer being Chrono Boosted to a nice scan in the main base from Barcode. You know, Pikachu doesn't really have any tech up yet like you might usually expect. Throwing down his Robo Bay now at the back of his base, which is cool. Although it's a pretty common place to drop, of course, it makes it a little bit vulnerable. Not as vulnerable as maybe over here though, as we saw earlier. Maybe against the fact there's a loop on the Buzz Robo Facility site, yeah. It is a good Buzz Robo Facility site, so. Barcode's going to start working down on them rocks. The Observer's going to, he's going to stop. And he doesn't see that third base yet, now he does. So he knows exactly what's up, he knows the third CC's up. And he's going to be able to come over here, he's going to see that Tech Lab's researching. He's going to see pretty hefty Marine Force. And in general, Pikachu's going to just know what's up, he knows he probably wants to take third Nexus as soon as possible. That's exactly what he's doing. I like the Observer placement over here. He's going to be able to see any Medivacs coming in to try and drop from his opponent ASAP, so he can react to it as soon as possible as well, which is always important. Both players have their rocks taken down, or at least Barco's trying to take down his rocks. He's going to take them down a lot faster now if he attacks with 4 of them units. Actually deciding to move out here with these Marines and Marauder. Pretty brave. Stim just finished up. In general, I feel like it's probably not the best of decisions. I'm not sure why the Zealots and Sentries are moving across the map at all. So Barcode still going to put on some pressure here even after going for 3cc. Basically his upgrades are what's been delayed, combat shields is 1-1, things like that. So it's not going to be as strong a push as usual, but of course if Pikachu still just if Pikachu overreacts to any of it, if he misplaces his units, it can still very possible for him to take a lot of damage to this. So do you see the first drops loaded up and going over to the right hand side? And no Observer of the army means that Pikachu's not completely sure where this attack's going to come in from. He's got no Stalkers in his main even, so he doesn't actually have anything to kind of deflect attacks from over there. And lots of units starting to reinforce with Barcode. A little bit of supply loss starting up his armory as well though, going to start getting his 2-2. As we now see the drop going to come straight into the main base, and this could do a lot of damage. Pikachu completely blind to this, and he's going to go straight, he's going to go straight to the midline. Could have been loaded first. And we'll see how pulling the Colossus back pretty much immediately here. And we'll see if he can maybe pick off the Colossus. He's going to try and chase the nice force fields there, going to actually clump up a lot of the Marines. And that means that Marines will die, but at the same time we see the stim in from the, into the third base of Pikachu. Pikachu going to start taking some damage, and he just let too many units, created too many units to his main, pulling back units there from his third, so he needs to just split up the army a bit better. However, he's going to take out a lot of these units here, and once he does that, he can counterattack. He did shut down the drops completely, remember. So because of that, he can go counterattack right now, because he just killed so much of his opponent's army. He can go counterattack and maybe do a lot of damage, and maybe deny the third base for a while his own third Nexus goes back up. That's exactly what he's doing, and that's just a great decision basically. A lot of Vikings already out, so that Colossi will die actually pretty fast, but still I feel like these units, Pikachu, I don't really know what he's been doing. I mean, if you look at this, are the Vikings going to be enough? No, I don't think they are. The Vikings actually getting taken down there, then Rock's still not being broken down, and Pikachu being able to pick up a lot more of them units. These SCVs are more or less all goners. As this Colossi come up here, you're going to be able to start taking this down. And Medivac is going to get taken down as well. I think he's too interested in the SCVs to really get that. And yeah. So the Starport is going to go down, the extra Starport, which is kind of nice, you know, when you go in Colossi, it's nice to stop the amount of Vikings and medevacs your opponent can make. A few SCVs hidden over here right now. They're going to go and do something, I'm not completely sure what. They're going to run into the third base of his opponent here, and Pikachu's happy with the kind of damage he did. I mean, he didn't kill his opponent's third, but let's look at the workers lost tab. He killed 22 workers, and economically, that puts him still a little bit behind considering this triple mule on the field, but it puts him in a better position than not counter-attacking at all. So he's just going to fall back for now. He's got his 2-2 on the way with Corona Boost. That's going to be out pretty quickly. Denying the extra starport as well, of course, means less medevacs and fewer Vikings, so that's a nice little add-on as well that he got from that attack. In general, he really needs his 5th and 6th gas though, because he wants to be able to get that saturated ASAP so that he can start getting his Twilight Council up, well, he's got his Twilight Council up because he's got 2-2 on the way, but so he can start getting his Templar Archives up, and that's exactly what he's doing as soon as the gas starts to get saturated, making that tech switch, which is pretty deadly for Terran players. You know, if they don't time it right, if they get the wrong units out and so on, pretty bad. Going back into medevac production now, stopping at 8 Vikings, maybe a few more. I mean, there's 4 Colossi out, so 8 Vikings probably isn't enough. Especially if it's a Stalker heavy force like this. The Blink player, I was playing against a player last night, Nano, he's High Master. I was fortunate enough to get to play some games with him. And he was just always so good at picking off my Vikings. There's never a fight where I came away with like Vikings unless he seriously had no Stalkers, which a lot of the time he obviously did. So he was so good at picking off the Vikings that even though I had like 10, 12, 13 Vikings, they just died after killing like 1 Colossi or something. And that's what's really risky about moving forward with these Vikings here. These Stalkers can blink under them and start target firing damage, which is exactly what's happening. Templar walking forward, which is a little bit crazy, but the Colossi all do go down because of the fact that the Marauders were able to get up close and personal with them from the low ground. So pretty interesting play, and you know, Blink forward can go down again here if he wants to get another Viking, but it might have been a mistake because the stim pack does go up. Guardian Shield going to go down, he's going to fight this here. 2-2 isn't finished, and 2-2 is finished for the Terran player, which is probably another factor from that last fight as well, as Pikachu now just going to try and get as many medevacs as possible. Medevacs are good. If he can kill medevacs and remake Colossi, then he's just basically limiting his opponent's army strength, because he can't get Vikings out while he makes medevacs, of course. So that's a nice little thing for nice little pick off from Pikachu. And if I'm not mistaken, the factory also got picked off for Barcode as well. So because the factory got picked off, he can't remake another starport, and because he can't remake another starport, again, it comes back to what I keep saying about if he's making medevacs, he's not making Vikings, and so the Colossi production is going to be really deadly for Barcode. Templar coming in, a couple of Zealots being walked in as well. A few gateways being added onto, a couple of medevacs a little bit out of position there. One medevac going to be loaded up and going down the bomb. A little bit interesting to use the medevac with no energy. So looks like Pikachu getting ready to take his 4th base, just clearing out the rocks there. Barco's in a similar position. He's starting up his own 4th base. He's already got an orbital command, but I think he kind of wants to just use that as a mule in command center. He's going to use this new command center as maybe a planetary, either in the middle here, which can really help in fights, or even just over here, which is a little bit safer. Of course, if you put your planetary here, sure it helps in fights, but if you still have that one bad fight, you're going to lose your 4th base pretty darn fast. Drop over here will be able to delay that 4th nexus for just a little while. The Paladin does finish up though, and the Templar aren't really going to be able to do that much either. But at the same time, in fact, recognizing the whole army's over here, you have Barco stimming over into the 3rd base, and there's just no real need for Pikachu's army to be over at that 4th base, just all the way over here, completely in the wrong position. And right now Barco is starting to make Pikachu to shreds. He's going to probably be able to kill this 3rd base, and Zealot's coming in. 3-3 is going to finish very shortly for the Cross player. Is there going to be enough here? The Templar coming in as well, but all the Templar actually getting target fired down. Not a single storm goes down, and Pikachu doing a lot of damage here. Barco is going to start dropping into the main base as well. Really nice multi-task play. The Blink just got used on them Stalkers as well, and he could target down a Forge here. Targeting down a Forge could be absolutely huge. If he's paying any attention to it though is the question, and yeah, he is. He's going to try and get a Colossi, which is pretty good as well, and he will get the Colossi, so nice little trade there. 3-3 about to finish for the Cross player though, and that can change things and can turn things around. However, Pikachu's still about half the supply of his opponent, so as long as Barco just keeps remaxing here and fighting, he should be okay, as long as he just doesn't run into loads and loads of storms. And yeah, he's going to start taking this base here. I'm surprised he's making it an orbital, in fact. but that's probably because he's actually taking 2 bases at the same time. So pretty interested by the fact he's doing that. Another drop's coming in over to the right hand side. That's the drop from over here from before. It will get taken out, but at the same time that gives Barcode all the time in the world he needs to kind of position. However, he wants to take down these rocks over here. Wants to get his SCVs up and running in that base. As some more Vikings do come out. Scans, he sees the Archons. There isn't actually a Ghost Academy on the map, which is a little bit of an awkward situation for him, because 3-3 Archons are pretty hard to kill if you can't just chain EMP them. So another Archon does get made up. However, I don't really think it's going to be enough, because there's just such a heavy bioforce. There's so many Vikings, the Colossi are going to die immediately, and again, there's a pretty hefty force as well. There's a lot of Marines there, there's a lot of Marauders there, about 50-50 ratio, and a couple more Stalkers morphing in, but I just don't think it's enough. If the Vikings, especially if the Vikings land in front, if the Vikings land in front, that's going to be the end of it. The position that's being fought in right now as well is really good for our Terran player. He's actually double stimmed for whatever reason, and right now this is a really good fight for him. He needs to just split and maybe turn around here. Split them units into 3 groups would cause them Archons to kill them a lot less quickly. Forces the reinforcement of the real kind of damage deals here. 4 medevacs now being produced at a time. These Archons are going to get away with their lives just, but again, it's just a kind of risky game that's being played here. This Barcode's on the 5 base, Pikachu just trying to get his 4th base up, and that's kind of really hurting him as well right now. I mean, if we look at his main base, mined out. If we look at his 3rd base, it's mining, his natural's mining, but if we look at the Terran player, his main's still mining, his natural's mining, his 3rd's mining, his 4th's mining, his 5th's mining. Terran just has such a better economy right now, so as this game goes on, Terran finds himself in a better and better situation. With 5 orbital commands and an SCV lead, all he needs to do is be able to keep fighting the army, which he might need ghosts for, because these Archons really are starting to pose problems. Another drop coming in over to this right hand side, going to be able to pick off the probes then, killing even more workers. 47 workers killed this game by Barcode. Some great multi-pronged aggression again and again, and he looks like he wants to do it again, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's saying, well, if you're too scared to fight my army, I'm going to run over here, and oh look, 3 Colossi, why, thank you. The Archons in the front as well, going to get taken down pretty damn fast. The Zealots coming in from behind finally, but all the Archons go down, which means that the next trade is going to be even easier for Barcode to do a lot of damage with. And a Storm coming in from behind, some actually doing a lot more damage to the Zealots than anything else there. And these Marine Marauder on the low ground will get picked off here, but again, more and more reinforcements just continue to stream out. Maybe Barcode could do with a few more racks. I mean, he's only on well, he's on 12, maybe go up to 14 or so. He's got some extra minerals, but more Archons walking in, and Pikachu kind of realizing that Archons is what's keeping me in the game right now. He doesn't use ghosts, so this kind of Archon play is what can really help me out. Heavy Zealot Archon play, because without EMPs, that's really, really powerful. And maybe with one good engagement, this can still turn around here for Pikachu. I mean, if you look at the resources lost, Terran has lost a lot more because he's been trading a lot of his army for economy, which is why he can afford to do that. But that still means that Pikachu's in a position where one really good fight with these Archons can really turn the game around. And with a lot of Zealots that are continually being warped in now, I think that might be what we're about to see, as a lot more probes starting to mine over there at the 4th base for the Protoss player. But Barcode getting ready to go. Command centers being started all over the map here for Barcode as well, and it looks like he's getting ready to go for once again another engagement. He's still 50 supply up. He's 3-3 against 3-3. There's no shield upgrades, which is something that could really help these Archons become even more so that kind of really big important force that keeps picking off. However, our Terran player here is going to break through the rocks, and the Protoss player is just completely out of position. He should take this opportunity right now to maybe... It's a bit of a risky situation for Terran. He can stim in here and kill the 5th, but Protoss can at the same time kill his 4th. Doesn't matter for the Terran so much, because quite frankly, he's already got a base over here. Terran's stimming in over here and realizing, well, actually he's not going to defend that base. So Pikachu decided to go for maybe a base trade situation. However, once this base goes down, that's fine, but Pikachu is actually going to be surrounded by this army here and this army from the bottom. And actually, Barcode just going to go straight up into the main and natural of his opponent, but is he actually going to have enough army to fight? He's going to have to start fighting his army, and that's exactly what he's going to do. There's instant storms available, and there are the storms, really nice storms from Pikachu, and Pikachu's starting to fight this army back. Again, there's still this army over here from Barcode, but for now, he's actually doing a pretty nice job. These medevacs are going to go down as well, which is going to start even up the supplies even more so. And again, this heavy Archon Zealot force is what's really kind of making the difference here. Then medevacs will be able to escape, but Pikachu only just behind on army because he's trying to put workers behind. However, more orbitals starting up even for Barcode, and it's probably going to come down to this fight for Pikachu. If he wins this here, he's got this. He's going to win this game. If he wins this fight, he's fine. If he doesn't, then uh-oh. A lot of Vikings are out with only one Colossi. That's a little bit of a bad situation to be in. Stim already being forced, which is really nice for Pikachu again, but again, how long can he afford to wait? He's got no mining. There's a drop coming over here. He's going to take out some of the last gas mining of Pikachu, who's basically just mining out his favourites. He's got a bit of income left, but again, it's nothing compared to what our Terran player, Barcode, has. That drop does completely retreat, actually. It doesn't even try and reposition. And actually now, these Vikings need to be careful, of course. Again, Medivacs are what's really needed with the army right now, and Pikachu might be about to go in, and the Vikings are going to kill the Colossi almost immediately. So again, them Vikings are pretty much dead weight now, unless they get used to tank for a little bit, and Pikachu needs to go for it, and that's exactly what he's going to do as well. It's a little bit trapped behind. Are there going to be any money storms? First storm is okay, it's not the best. The second storm is better, the third storm is even better, covering even more of the army, and fourth storm is even better again, but is it going to be enough? I don't think it will be, and Pikachu is going to end up having this army taken down, and Barcode, what a fucking joke from Pikachu. So Barcode just showing us a really cool style of just continuously attacking where your opponent's army isn't. Pikachu, what he needs to learn in general, just positioning his army. There's a lot of times he was just out of position. There's a couple of fights he took where he was in position, he just didn't have the right composition. His Colossi got targeted down immediately by Marauders. This fight over here, and the Marauders were down here and killed the Colossi in like 3 shots. That was really bad for him, because that really should have never existed. So that really should have never happened with the amount of Vikings that were out. And the Stalkers were doing a great job taking down the Vikings, but in general, them Colossi should have been pulled back a little bit. So Pikachu, with some nice engagements early on, but just kind of started to fall behind. And in the end, that just kind of snowballed. I mean, it went on and on and on. And once you get behind once, you get behind twice, you get behind again unless you can Money Storm. And even with the Money Storms this time around, Pikachu wasn't quite able to make it. So unfortunately, Pikachu lost the game. Hopefully he got some good advice if he's ever going to watch this, or if it was Barcode that submitted this, then hopefully you know that. Your style is pretty sick, but at the end of the day, you're going to need ghosts sometimes, because unless you have a significant lead like that, then you're fucked. He was able to produce that many biomes because he had like 5 bases, which were all orbital commands, and he didn't have that many ghosts. Because he didn't have ghosts, he just had a huge amount of like, he just had so much supply to spend on bio, and he also only had 50 SCVs, which is still more than the Protoss, but of course he had the economy to actually fill his supply up, whereas the Protoss kind of didn't. So we're going to just take a quick music break once again, guys. So thanks for watching. We're going to have, I believe, one more replay from Veni Pro, unless anyone else has another. So we're going to go into another replay, and then we'll be back in just a few moments time. So guys, thanks for watching. I'm Wardí, and this is Improvement episode number 2.